Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Soul Health with Nurse Blue. And guess what? I am your Nurse Blue. And for the next few minutes, I am here to live up to my name, sweetheart. I am here to build you. That is the B. Love you. That is the L. I'm here to unite with you. We got to do this together. And E, I'm here to empower you, which means I'm here to elevate you for the next few minutes about my favorite topic. And hopefully after this, it's yours. It's called soul health, okay? Because soul health is the solution. And for those of you who are just tuning in to me for the very first time, hey, sweetheart, I am your nurse now. I need you to subscribe to my channel because here's where you're going to get the 911 and the 411 on all things soul health, because soul health is the solution if you want to reverse a chronic disease or if you want to prevent a chronic disease, because, honey, you cannot afford to get sick, okay? So our number one enemy to your soul's health, actually the number one enemy probably on planet Earth right now, particularly where I am in the United States, it's the F word. Yeah, that one. It's called fear. But we're not just talking about regular fear today. Oh no, baby. We are talking about the godfather of fear. That's right. Do you know what the godfather of fear is? Okay, well, let me just tell you this. Before I jump into that topic, give me a thumbs up. And now let me give you the 411 on the godfather of fear. The godfather of fear is called toxic insecurity. Go get your notepad. Go get your journal. It's time for us to get into this. Okay, now, let me tell you about toxic insecurity. Now, as a human being, having some insecurity is quite natural. You know, it just kind of comes with being human. Everybody has felt like from time to time that they weren't good enough or started something new and they didn't feel confident, or entered into a relationship and didn't know where it was going. I mean, come on. Insecurity is something that everybody is going to encounter, right? But toxic insecurity, that's why the world, honey, is so in chaos these days, right? Because we are suffering from people who are living with toxic insecurity. Yes. And what you don't realize is that a lot of us have toxic insecurity because this thing here can be passed down to you generationally. This thing can be contagious. I mean, toxic insecurity right now is pretty viral here in the United States. And when you're looking at the news all the time, or if you're listening to news and you're hearing about all of the chaos happening in the world, quite frankly, a lot of it is happening because we don't know how to deal with toxic insecurity. So I'm going to go refer to my notes right now, and so I don't leave anything out because you need to know this. So for those of you who are like, okay, what is toxic insecurity? All right, now I want you to understand this. There's 8 levels of fear, okay? So we talk about this all the time in the Soul Health and Wellness Club. The 8 levels of fear are shame, guilt, apathy, grief, desire, fear itself, and then, of course, pride. And when you have pride, what pride does is it keeps you from really seeing or acknowledging the fear that's inside of you, or even hearing about it from somebody else. So that's why toxic insecurity exists, because pride keeps you from dealing with it. Now, when you have toxic insecurity, these are people who you may have in your life. They may be in your household. They may be people you work with. There may even be some frenemies that, you have in your life, or some people you have to deal with in business, what have you. Or you might be the one that has toxic insecurity. All right. These are the people who are oftentimes easily triggered, right? These are the ones who are easily frustrated. Sometimes they're mean. These are haters, okay? Haters in your life that they constantly criticize you. Ain't no mountain high enough or low enough to make these people happy, okay? These are the kinds of people that when you hear about narcissistic behavior, these are your narcissists of the world, okay? Now, they don't always have to be considered a narcissist, but toxic insecurity. These are the people that make your life hell, right? Now, it could be a parent, it could be a friend, it could be a neighbor. I mean, they are among us all the time. And what they do, because oftentimes they're not self-aware and they have pride, they don't take responsibility for the pain that they're going through or the trauma they're living with. These people project their stuff on you all the time. These could be people in your work environment who are always invalidating your work, right? These can be the bullies at, your child's school. Bullies live with toxic insecurity. And because you might be someone who's talented, good looking, someone who has good energy like myself, those people can be attracted to your light, but only because they're jealous of it, right? So when you have, and I'm looking at my notes because I want to make sure that I don't leave anything out. These are also people who are very negative. They gossip about others, and if they're gossiping about others to you, then chances are they're gossiping about you to other people, all right? But bottom line is they make you feel uncomfortable, all right? And a lot of times, we have these people in our lives and we really don't know how to handle it because they can be our family members. They could have been in our lives for a long period of time. They can be your in-laws. And you're like, you know what? I don't know really what to do, because you could draw boundaries with these people. And if you draw boundaries with these people, they're offended because you haven't allowed them to any longer come in and pollute your life. Or it could be a job situation where, these people exist and you find yourself having to work in a very toxic place, right? Over a period of time. And now you start feeling stressed out. Your blood pressure starts increasing. When you live in an environment or you work in an environment where people are very critical, guys, let me just tell you this. It's so bad for your health, And what I am going to suggest, if this is the case, what you must do first and foremost, you have to be willing to radically self-love. So you have to protect your peace, because that's what these people are after. They don't live in peace, right? And they're constantly comparing you to themselves, and they're feeling uncomfortable because they are dealing with such deep insecurity that because they don't live in peace, they're after your peace, right? These are people that when you're in their company, you feel drained all the time because really sometimes they become energy vampires. And quite frankly, guys, let me just tell you this, if you don't know how to deal with these people appropriately, this toxic insecurity will grow into a state of bitterness. It can grow into a space where it becomes dangerous for your health. There are a lot of people in this world that don't realize that things like, conditions like cancer, like Alzheimer's, like autoimmune deficiencies that show up in the body, you've been diagnosed, you're taking medication, they start with stress related to people suffering in environments with people who suffer from toxic insecurity. These are your haters of the world, okay? So now that you know what it is, and that's just a sample, okay? Because I can go on and on and on about this. I need you to understand that if it's a soul health condition where toxic insecurity is really the core problem there, the only thing that gets rid of toxic insecurity and any kind of fear is perfect love cast out all fear. That is the scripture that we build our soul health foundation on. 1 John 4:18, perfect love cast out fear. So perfect love cast out our fear means that, number one, you have to be willing to make the hard choice, or the easy choice, make it an easy choice, to love your soul back to health, okay? You have to understand that first and foremost that this is not something you deserve. This is not something you need to learn how to make excuses for. This is not something that you really play with. And I didn't realize that because I stayed in relationships for far too long with toxic people, trying to figure out how to manage it, hoping it would go away, hoping that they will change. And even myself, before I became self-aware and started doing my own work, I didn't realize that I, Nurse Blue, was injurious to people's health because of my own toxic insecurity, right? So here's what I'm going to share with you now. If you are feeling drained, confused, if you are having, because these people here will be the cause of mental health problems. These people here will be the cause of you gaining weight, because what happens is when we're dealing with these stressful situations, cortisol is going up and inflaming your body and calling on fat belly Felicia. And you look up, honey, you're in a relationship with somebody that has toxic insecurity, or you're in a work environment and the pounds start creeping up on you. You look up diabetes, you're going to the doctor and now you're being diagnosed with pre-diabetes, because a lot of times we start adopting habits just to to cope with these people. You start eating bad food. Sometimes you start getting on drugs, unfortunately, or taking drugs for mental health issues, or finding other ways to self-medicate. That's just not healthy for you, okay? So if you're feeling like that, first of all, you need to call Nurse Blue, all right? I actually created something with you in mind, because I remember many years ago when I was living in an unpeaceful state and couldn't sleep at night. I was constantly thinking, how to manage life in these environments, because they keep you on your toes. You're constantly anxious. And I didn't realize then what I know now, how to protect myself, right? So I actually created something called the spiritual vaccine. And this vaccine allows me to work with you just for 1 hour, one-on-one, to help you go through a soul detox and a reset. Because what we must do, you have to learn the tools to protect your energy. You also need to learn how to elevate your energy so that you can start making healthier choices. Because I will tell you this, if you're being attacked at home or at work, or if you have people in your life that are close to you that have this toxic insecurity, your soul is being injured all the time. And just ignoring it or pretending like it's not there or finding a way to cope with it is not enough from keeping your soul from being injured. As a matter of fact, if you continue to put yourself in harm's way like this, honey, let me tell you this can lead to an early death. That's how serious it is. So if this is something that's resonating with you and you know you need help and you need support, or you have left the environment and now you want to, invest in soul repair, I want to invite you to a free discovery call, okay? So that you can learn more about the spiritual vaccine, because you definitely need a soul detox, right? And, the opportunity to learn how to protect yourself, how to do the soul repair, will prevent you from putting yourself in this situation again. Or if it's a situation that you can't leave because it is a family member or it is a work environment that you can't afford to leave right now, you definitely need some tools to support you. And I am definitely here for you, because if we don't give you what you need, what will happen is you'll start feeling the effects of this environment show up in a potential diagnosis, right? So protect your health by protecting your energy and by learning how to definitely support your health by learning how to love your soul back to health, okay? And that's called radical self-love. So if this is something that you're interested in, I'm going to post my link. What do you have to lose other than some toxicity, right? What else do you have to lose other than some a potential injury to your health? So I'm going to post my link for you to get on my calendar so we can have this free discovery call, and you can learn more about the spiritual vaccine so that we can elevate your energy by releasing all that does not serve you and increasing your peace, your joy, and certainly increasing your well-being. Okay, you deserve that. Okay, all right, guys, I hope this was helpful to you. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and I cannot wait to come back and share more information about how to love your soul back to health. Bye-bye.